Hello, my name is Sheldon and welcome back for another episode of Chapter 3 as Merina Kingdom. In previous episodes we managed to capture half of Somaliland already in here. And we of course need to conquer the second half, hopefully in this round, or this episode. So, I suppose we'll start the war against Marhateen. I doubt there's going to be anyone supporting them. And let's mobilize the armies, bring them over here already. Now of course, until we get to Ethiopia itself, we probably won't have a lot of extra pops to use for military. I mean, if we were to get Oromia, that would be quite a bit of troops potentially. It takes quite a while for the troops to arrive here, but hopefully before the start of the war we'll get the professional army. If not, then we'll probably win this fight regardless. But I wouldn't mind getting a bit of extra, so I could sway Egypt. Interesting. I don't think I need to, but I could, in theory. So I'm guessing their troops are... Oh, they do have cannons. But it's still irregular, so it's not really that big of a deal. And if this passes, then we'll get a lot more. Oh, and the government construction is almost done. Dissenters break ranks. Ah. Well, I guess we won't be passing that law. We could try passing the colonial resettlement. The rule folk would not enjoy that one. I don't actually want to go for the exploitation. I don't want to... Well, I want the attention to be fairly low if we do colonization. Do we have any more pops over here that use... Not really, not really. Well, I suppose part of the reason... Now that we've got a lot of workers in here and all that, I don't suppose if there's any things that we can start reducing the workforce in. Let's put in the luxury clothing first of all. Pattern stills, we could probably turn everything to that one now. Tooling workshops. Start making some iron tools so we get a bit more money out of that. Shipyards can stay as is. This could be unlit street lights everywhere. Oh, and filing cabinets. I didn't have filing cabinets everywhere. Did I inherit some administration centers here then? Oh, there is one over there, but it's not being built. Okay. Well, let's just let that be a bit, sure. So we did actually have it active already everywhere. Oh, but there we go. Now we're making... Oh, because we're not using the construction. Of course. So no one's joining on either side. Of course, we can't invite anyone at this stage either. So it should be fairly easy. I mean, we've got higher attack than their defense, should be. At least in theory. Now, in practice, it might be slightly different numbers there. But we'll slowly get our way through here. Marhateen and Kaleri maybe after that, or Shiva. I'm not entirely sure which one I want to go for, but regardless, we're going to slowly expand our territories in here. We've got a fairly small combat. We've lost a bit of troops here, admittedly. So we probably, after Somaliland has been conquered and we start conquering Oromia and all that, we will probably... Oh, I split the front there, okay. Playful power. Petite bourgeoisie. They already hate me. I don't... Well, No, I don't want them to be necessarily in power, although getting the extra bureaucracy from them could be quite useful. I do admit that much. Ah, there we go. So this combat, we are losing a decent bit of through demoralization, but like the actual casualties in that fight were actually relatively low, which is definitely good news for us. And our infamy is only 9.9. So if we were to fight Galedi, I mean, for that one, I think what we need to do, we need to start damaging relations. We got fairly good relations with them right now, so after this we might have to go again. Oman is... wait a minute, Oman is part of the French market. Oh, is Egypt part of the French... Egypt is part of the French market. Oh. Okay, so who is part of our market then? French market, French market. Well, I mean, that one's just recently added, so it doesn't have the proper access there. Well, I suppose actually the easier way to check who's part of the French market is through here. So, Brazil is part of the French market. And of course us, Egypt, Hejaz, and now Oman as well. Well, capture another piece over there, and I think soon enough they'll start losing their war support quickly enough. So that it's... Oh, they declared me as a rival. Oh, Bassa mass immigration. And it's southern Madagascar, okay. That's actually good, because that means that we'll get a bit more pops in here. We've got a bit of a shortage of the workforce already. But of course, now that we're getting some immigration coming in, it's only just the non-discriminated cultures, to be fair, so we don't need to worry about getting a lot of extra turmoil because of those mass immigrations necessarily. I mean, there might be a tiny bit, but it's not going to be too bad. That should be a nice little victory there. There we go. So now, are you willing to take the peace still? No, not quite yet. You know what? I'm going to switch you to defend the front there. We don't need to advance any further. They will surrender anyway, so this way we don't take too much casualties in the fighting. And there we go. We got more in here. Oh, wow, that is a lot. Okay, first of all, we're not going to build that one. Let's just double check that there's no construction. Yeah, government isn't constructing anything. But over here, textiles, we probably don't need 3 levels. 1 level will be enough. Arms industry can be as food industries, we could probably reduce at least another level. Tooling workshops, we can go back to level 1. Furniture, we can go to level 1. Like, I do want to have a decent bit of industries as well in here, but like the infrastructure is going to be the big problem. Now we've got 45 infrastructure total. And we've got the ports over here, which will be hiring a bit more people, so that should give us a little bit more. So maybe we'll go to like 47, 48 or something like that. So we might have to reduce the farms. But well, actually, the farms are working full speed there. Livestock ranches are working mostly full speed. I'm going to reduce them by 1. And tea plantations, we can definitely reduce a decent bit. Go like 4. Then coffee plantations, we can reduce to 1. It's not going to have a... Well, I mean, it is going to have an impact on the turmoil, but it's not going to be too bad. And now we've got 63 out of 47 total infrastructure there. So, again, it's not the best. But it's working already a little bit better. Oh, right, and the barracks over here, we could still remove these. So that's going to give us another 2,000 workers total. It doesn't have an impact on the infrastructure levels, to be fair, but it's still slightly better, I suppose. Oh, actually, iron mines we can reduce to level 2. And the fishing we can probably reduce to 3. But that's yet another 5 infrastructure also. So now we've got 90% in there. That's actually not too bad. That'll be probably fine enough. Oh, now we could do war against Mara, although they are cordial towards me, so probably not yet. But eventually... So this would be providing lead. Yeah, okay, it doesn't have a lot of pops there. But if we were to get Casimir State over there, for example, then we might be able to expand a little bit. And now we are researching the intensive agriculture, finally. I think after that we are getting... Oh, the paddle steamer is already in there, but that might be done before we get to that point. What are we getting in the society? Stock exchange. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Unless protectionism, trade route bureaucracy costs, and trade route competitiveness. If that hasn't been researched by then, which probably it will be. And then banking. Get more minting in there. And then after that, we'll maybe get some more production or military. But yeah, regardless, we are in a fairly decent situation over here, all things considered. Like, we don't have a massive army, admittedly. Our economy is 7.6 million already, which honestly isn't too bad. We're 27th worldwide. Our literacy rate is about 36%. So we could actually have quite a bit more innovativeness, but right now, oh wow, we could have a max of 100. Quick connections. I don't want to anger the rural folk too much, so we're just going to go with the extra time to try to pass this one. So we are actually gathering a pretty good amount of cash there. We did build up the port over here, but of course now we're running a little bit low on the workers available. In both North and South Madagascar, but at this stage we could probably start building some of our own construction again. Question is, of course, is there something that we desperately need? Dye is something that we could use a bit more. But of course, both of these are having low infrastructure, and I can't build the railways yet. I can't build more ports either, so that's going to be a bit of a problem there. Which is kind of why we should probably get into Ethiopia now. Let's actually have a look. If we were to declare war on Shiva, how much troops do they have? 34. That would also be quite a bit of infamy, so we might have to wait on that one a little bit. Why is the troop quality, though? It is just irregular, so I think our troops would be better. I don't know if it would be good enough to sort of just work our way, or sort of march through all of it. But we could probably conquer at least a little bit, then just hold on to the rest of it and just wait for them to surrender. We do have a movement for land voting. Now, I suppose since the landowners aren't really that large anymore, the voting could actually go either way, but I'm pretty sure that land voting still... Aristocrat, capitalist, clergymen, and officers would be the people voting. So yeah, it's not necessarily that much that it would aid us right now. But at the same time, I suppose we've got fairly unacceptable current right now. Mostly due to the fact that the armed forces isn't all that high in terms of clout, and a lot of the others are fairly... Oh. France versus Britain. Hunger state in southern India. Oh, they're going for Mysore. Okay. And then you want to open the French market. Alright, so just going to turn them to free trade. Alright then. Well, interesting. That might keep the British a little bit busy. Oh, but it's Oman. Oh, Zanzibar is independent. Oh. A lot of people are trying to damage relations with them. Okay, well, in that case, if I was to conquer Zanzibar, that would be a lot of infamy. Which, admittedly, it would be so much infamy that it would set us into the next bracket. So we'll just wait for the infamy to drop. We've got a lot of influence available, so infamy decay is increased quite a bit. So now we're losing... we should be 5 per year. Oh, but actually it's about 4 per year, isn't it? Right, so we may need to wait more than a year before we attack into Zanzibar. Mostly because our ruler is a bandit, and that's not necessarily very good. I suppose one of the things that I could do to start reducing some of this extra expansion of our things is just switch to wooden buildings. Or wooden construction again, so the investment pool will be used a bit less. We are still making money. But at the same time, the construction speed is going to reduce so much that we're not going to be having all of our infrastructure twice over used by the private construction. Or like they won't be building everything as quickly, and that gives a bit more time for the population to grow as well. How's the coal mine doing anyway? It is making a pretty good profit. It doesn't have enough workers, to be fair. It's not missing too much, it's just laborers mostly. What are we getting in the... Right, in production we are... Oh, wait. The crystal class is spreading to us. Okay, that's not necessarily too bad. We're going to get the intensive agriculture soon enough, so that's going to give us a lot more food overall, which is definitely nice. Still no luck with the colonial resettlement, but it's still about 9% chance. It hasn't gone down, at least. Oh, we're getting motor industries in northern Madagascar. I mean, not that we necessarily need the engines too badly yet. I mean, we can't really do too much with that. We don't have railways, among other things. So yeah, we are still quite a bit behind in tech. So that's one of the things that I should probably work towards improving. Maybe get another university over here in southern Madagascar. And standard of living is still 12.8. I mean, over here, how is it in... Oh, it's 12.2 in Somaliland already. Now, we could use a bit more bureaucracy to try to... Oh, actually, how much is it going to be for the institution? It is 29. So if we want to pass that one, we'll have to get a bit more than that. Right, so it's Wello versus Tigray. And Tigray wants to conquer basically all of Wello's land. Alright then. They won't be able to invite anyone in. And you're wanting to conquer all of that, okay. Well, well actually, no, I don't think they'll be able to call anyone in. No, and Prison is fighting against Maasai now. I don't think Maasai is going to win that anymore, so they did manage to delay the British colonization for a while there, which, you know, it's not all bad. But definitely could use a bit more help there, I guess. Oh, that's where they started colonizing Lindy, so we won't be able to get Lindy at this stage. But at least we will get some iron through Somaliland, so it's not all bad. And law debate fail. Okay, so colonial resettlement is not going to pass. The exploitation is probably not going to pass it either, so can we try passing the professional army again? We could. Don't know if it's going to pass, but we'll give it a try. We are trying to bolster the armed forces, but it's just not going all that well. Right, so now we're building the university fairly slowly, admittedly, but we are still making some money, so that's good. So that means that we could probably do a war soon enough. Although for that, I think what we're going to do, we're going to go for Zanzibar, so we can get some more troops from there. And that means that we can then slowly sort of phase out the troops being used in Madagascar. Maybe we'll leave a little bit in there, not too much. Oh, percussion cap is spreading. Right, that was the steamer that got already done. Percussion cap is going to lead into the munitions plant, which could be quite handy. And in the production, it's still giving us the crystal class, which is going to take quite a while to spread to us, but eventually we'll get it. Right, did they actually do the war here? Oh, they are at war, yeah. Let's have a look. So, how's the numbers? Willow's got 35 battalions versus 11 battalions. There's no one else in this war. So I think they are probably going to win, but they need to be attacking. I reckon, so it will be a bit costly for them. Oh, wow. Oh, Tigre's got some better units than they do. Light infantry with cannons, I think. Oh, it's mobile artillery even. Okay. Tigre might still lose that combat, but they did inflict a lot of casualties, that's for sure. Hazembe? Oh, down this way. Right, Britain is going to be taking most of this area then. Which is a bit of a shame. Maybe I could utilize... Oh, right, the French have done the landing there. Let's have a look at the war that France is in. I think the French might actually win this. Oh, they've got Russia on their side. And it's against Britain and Mysore, so there's not that many nations there. Britain would already be willing to take the White Peas. While they do that, we are slowly getting the intensive agriculture, so that's going to increase the food production. And then it's going to allow us to do some other techs. Oh, Tigre actually won a battle there. Right, so our infamy is relatively... Well, it's not too high anymore. But if we wait for one more... Well, let's say 2 or 3 more months, so we should be at 2.5 infamy. More or less, and after that what we can do is we can... hopefully... Oh, there we go. France actually managed to conquer the state there. Well done. Did Britain and... Oh, Britain was probably called in as the overlord, but is USA still allied to... No. They're no longer allied to Britain. They're currently at war with Mexico, though. And there we go. We got the university. Now we're making more money again. We're about to get the motor industry. How's the investment pool? It's still fairly sizable, actually. Oh, investing in coal mines. Actually, that's not a bad one. So there we go. 2.5 infamy. Just a few more. Oh, Deval scandal. Deval are still fairly influential, but we could probably let their influence go down. Maybe armed forces will at least benefit a little bit from that. And maybe, just maybe, we can pass the professional army then. Let's just double check. Speaking of armies, what do you have as... Okay, you do have light infantry with mobile artillery, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to do the landing there. There we go. We got the agriculture. Let's have a look at the stuff in here. So millet farms, soil enrichment farming. That's going to be a massive amount of grain that we'll get from there. A little bit fertilizer to use, but that's going to be reasonable. We'll also get a lot more fabric with this one. We could probably use a bit of butchering tools. There we go, that's at least a little bit stuff there. Oh, in the glasswork. Oh, we could get lead at glass now, since the French market does have lead. That's going to increase more labourers to machinists, which to be fair is probably good. And then I suppose with the glass that we have, we could increase the... Oh, that's less labourers, more clerks. Okay, well, the glass price is not going to change too much. The service price is going to drop quite a bit though. But it doesn't increase the total amount of workers in there, which is probably for the best. But yeah, we are pretty much out of labour. Oh, and professional army is not going to pass. Alright, then I guess we won't be passing that law then. Is there any other things that we could... Ooh. Per capita taxation. Can we get any better government to pass that law? Not really. We need to have at least 25, don't we? So who... Actually, just double check. So it was... rural folk, armed forces, industrialists, and petite bourgeoisie that support this. Oh, so intelligentsia doesn't even support that. They probably don't, well, they don't oppose it either. They don't support any of the laws and stuff. Let's try to get the per capita taxation. I doubt it will pass, but if it does, just by accident, then we'll get a lot more money. And we could, oh, actually, speaking of money, we could probably lower the taxes a little bit. Increase the legitimacy a little bit further. Then we'd be able to get a 25 legitimacy. Okay. Industrialists are a lot more powerful, so I'm going to stop bolstering this. I'm going to go for this one. Legitimacy will drop quite a bit. We could probably try to bolster the industrialist. Confirm that. We'll lower the taxes even further, so we will have the legitimacy. We've got a decent bit of gold reserves, so we can do this for a while. And if we could pass the per capita taxation and also keep the industrialists in power for the time being, raising concerns. The Deval could probably lose a little bit of approval, but also lose some political strength. And that's probably for the best. There's land at voting. There's a decent bit of support for it already, 38%. We'll try to get the per capita taxation, and I suppose after that we should be able to do some of the other laws as well. We'll have a look at what we can do afterwards. So we've got about 3 months until the stock exchange is done. Which is going to... Oh, that might unlock the... Oh, the trade things. I believe we've already got some trade policies that we could try passing. No, we need to stock exchange. I mean, there's the mercantilism, but if we could go for protectionism, that would probably be good enough. Then we can start doing some trading. We don't have a lot of bureaucracy, admittedly, available for trading. Oh, and now Mysore is having an uprising there. Alright then. So the French didn't manage to hold on to it all that well. How's the thermal in here? It's 40% still in Merina, or Somaliland over here. So, oh, the market access is actually quite a bit larger now. Which is definitely good news for us. Ineffective agriculture. Yeah, we'll take migration attraction in North Madagascar. There we go, stock exchange completed. What are we getting now? So we're getting the banking, that's quite useful. Although actually, I'm going to get the crystal class first. And after that we can get the banking. And then we'll maybe get something from the military. I think the percussion cap is probably going to be done by then. Field works for the extra defense could be actually quite good. Or general staff for the skirmish infantry. That could also be quite useful. Or port max level. Port max level is the one that we'll go for, because we know that the infrastructure is still a problem. Although if we were to just get railways and along, that would probably fix the issue quite easily. But there we go, we are now making money. The taxation law has, well, a 16% chance of passing right now, so it's not very high, and actually industrialists are losing more and more power. We're trying to bolster them, but it seems to be not working all that well. But who knows, maybe we'll get lucky. I mean, the first 5 episodes we got really lucky with the laws, and I suppose the cultural exclusion, which we started passing already on the episode 5, I believe, did pass on the previous episode. Right, so we got really bad legitimacy. Doesn't surprise me. And the, ooh, radical numbers. Well, they're actually going down quite a bit. Loyalists are slightly climbing up. I suppose that's partially because we lower the taxes. So that does help. Why is the private... ooh, more tooling workshop. I mean, fair enough, I suppose. I'm just worried a little bit about the market access in Madagascar dropping further and further. There we go. Crystal class. So that could act... ooh. Yeah, if we go for the glass works, start using more lead. We don't use any wood at that point, and we'll produce a lot more glass. But that's actually not a bad idea. And now we're down to 50% chance of the per capita taxation. Come on. Just be merciful. I mean, what chances do we have? Advance is 5%, debate is 54%, stall is 25%. So, if we get lucky with a debate, we might be able to get this passed, but it's very likely that we won't. Intelligentsia is slowly losing their approval of us as well, which isn't all that great, to be fair. Exactly, how much is it going to be increase in taxation? 20,000, okay. That's pretty decent. Right now, anyway, we don't have any infamy though, so Zanzibar... oh, right. I did come to the conclusion that the landing over here might not work. But what I could do is do the war against Oromia, or Shiva over here. Oh, are they... France is damaging relations. They consider me as a rival. I could declare a rivalry on them. And then if I want to conquer Oromia... they've got 34... did they have any... I believe they had some... no, they don't. Oh, right, so it's just irregular infantry there. I don't really have a lot of extra manpower, to be fair, so my troops might not be able to fight in full strength. But if I can conquer just Oromia, the next war... I mean, the future wars over here, I can just utilize the pops over here for doing the next conquests. So that should help out quite a bit. So yeah, I think that is what we're going to do. So, Oromia. I'm going to only go for Oromia. We're not going to go for the other state there. We'll go ahead and... oh, it is already here. It'll be on the advance. At least we'll advance a little bit in there. Please pass the law. Please pass the law. Nope. Temporary embarrassment. Tax cuts for 2 years. Minus 4% income tax rate. With 10% chance of passing it. So actually... yeah, we'll sway them with that tax cut. So now we've got a quarter chance of passing the law. Which is about the same as stall. Oh, CAFA improving relations. Alright then. So if we have a look at the... our troops should be in fairly good shape there. They've got a lot of generals in there, though. What are you? Expert defense strategies, that does increase their defensiveness quite a bit. And you've got... Villager Open Terrain Commander. Okay, so that's probably going to be more attack-oriented. Whether they'll be attacking or not remains to be seen. So, they haven't swayed anyone. I could sway... ooh. I could sway Kafa. I will offer you that one. So we'll share the area. You'll get your Amhara in entirety. And they will have to spread their troops, which means a lot easier time for us both. There we go. Diplomacy. Oh, Tigray. Starting, okay, Do they have a general in there? They don't. So it's just gonna be in there. Are they moving any... How much troops do they have? They did manage to capture all of Gondor. Alright then, if I want to take some land from them, it would be probably a lot of infamy. Oh, actually, I guess wait. Do I want to give any of this land to Egypt? Maybe I could give Tigray Eritrea to them. If they would take that. Oh, make a vassal. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. So how much of an army do they have? At most 6. They haven't mobilized yet. So I'm not actually too worried about that one then. We just need to conquer Oromia here first. To some degree. And then we're going to push in to there. So in that case, I could potentially put in a war goal. Conquer state. I'm going to go for the Eritrea at least. That's going to give us a little bit infamy, but it still keeps us below 25. And then maybe in another war later on we'll capture the rest. So they've begun conscription. They do have a general heading in here, but it's going to be defending at first. We may need to get a second general. And split the troops a little bit. For the time being. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So recruit a new general. In Sanji. Expert defense strategist. You got offensive planner there as well, that's not too bad. Oh, we could go for the armed forces, open terrain commander, tactful. Less morale damage with more defense. More offensive flat terrain, pillager. More devastation, will that combat? Or I think we're gonna go for the expert defense strategist. Oh, actually no, we're gonna go for the offensive planner. And then what we're gonna do is we are gonna mobilize that one. So you are gonna be just holding this line. And the new general is gonna go over there and advance into Gondor, or Tigray, I believe is the... Yeah, Tigray. And just conquer at least this state. We can maybe force them out of the war. So that'll probably help. We do still have a bit of... Oh, mining accident. Well, that's not great. Actually, rural folk... Well, they already approve of me fairly well. Trade unions aren't influential. Industrialists... Ooh. Industrialists get more political strength. There we go. We've got 17% chance. Or 17% clout there already. All them. So hopefully our defense over here will hold. I mean, we've got okay defender in there. Expert defensive strategies, so yeah, they should be able to hold for a while. Assuming that the enemies are going to be advancing anyway. They might not. Oh, TJ declared rivalry. But if we do win this war, we'll get a decent bit of land. I think Oromia is going to be our sort of base of new troops here then. At least we'll have 20 battalions there, so we can then use that army to conquer the rest of Ethiopia. But I do actually realize that we are out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.